Good morning. It's Monday, May 5th. Thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news, announcements, and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HC's English and Communications, and I'm joined by Dr. Nicholas Cox, our interim Dean for Liberal Arts and Humanities. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Amy. How was your weekend?
It was great, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
That's right. Today is a big holiday for our neighbors to the south and any Mexican Americans that celebrate with them.
That's right. Do you have any plans for it today?
Just working all day today.
It's working. Well, and did you celebrate May the 4th be with you? Because that's also an important holiday.
You, not so much for me. Not so much for
No,
me. I get it.
no.
I get it. There's people out there that love that stuff, but you know,
So we did a Star Wars marathon, but I saw you were exploring some ancient lighthouse.
I did. I spent Saturday out at Sabine Pass, which is a Civil War battle site on the Texas side. And there's a lighthouse, an antebellum ruined lighthouse on the Louisiana side. So I went out there on Saturday and Sunday and did some sight walking. It was great.
Amazing. Well, Nick, we are under a lot of pressure here because we're live.
That's
We're
right. Yeah.
live on HCTV. So, but how can people find us?
Well, we're on the Houston Community College District's Facebook page, and we're also on YouTube. And we're on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Excellent. Well, it's also Mental Health Monday. We're talking about literature as an empathy tool, especially character-driven fiction. So I am really looking forward to getting to talk with Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick. He is the executive director of the Jung Center of Houston and our regular Mental Health Monday guest. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning.
I'm really looking forward to our topic. I know you are too.
Yeah, me definitely. Yeah, very very happy to be back.
So we will be right with you in about 10 minutes. First off, I'm going to hand it over to Nick, who is welcoming back a guest.
That's right. We are here today with our Military Education Program Director, Robert Glover. Robert, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Well, we have a lot of things going on with military education at the end of the semester here, and I wanted to ask you first about the premier high schools because they're going to have a joint commencement graduation ceremony for their Houston Hobby and Sharpstown locations. We're going to host that at HCC's West Loop campus, and you're going to be speaking to them. Our audience might know that Premier High Schools is a charter school here in the Houston area and maybe more broadly in Texas. But what is their connection to military education programming?
Well, in a nutshell, I have gone through most of my spring and summer and a little bit last fall, winter, I'm sorry, talking to their students, talking to their administrators and updating them about HCC's military education programs and offering them the information about the opportunities that are there in different programs or across the services in certain areas. Since this is a joint graduation over at our West Loop campus, I'll be giving one commencement speech because I can't think hard enough to create two separate commencement speeches. But I'm going to keep this simple and hopefully it'll be informative and insightful for them.
Well, I can tell you as someone who has sat through two back-to-back graduation ceremonies more than once in my life that most people just repeat themselves. And it's not great if you're the second time running through that with the person on stage again. But when I saw these charter schools were having a commencement on our campus with you speaking, I wondered if they might have a military readiness focus of some sort of ROTC, or if maybe these charter schools might be the kind of dreaded military academies that our parents threatened us with. But sounds like really what you're doing mostly is recruiting students out of these charter schools for potential careers in the military. Is that right?
Well, that's absolutely right. And it's just not military careers. It's also civilian careers across the Department of Defense, Department of State, Department of Energy, the three-letter agencies, things of that nature. So everything that I talk about in respect to opportunities for students are based on my guiding principle is that all of our students who are in these different programs will eventually leave college with their workforce certificate or their associate's degree, or even as they matriculate to their bachelor's degree programs, virtually debt-free.
No, I'm really glad you highlighted that there are civilian aspects in careers as well, not just after military service, but a lot of people think about enlistment as the military, but those agencies you mentioned with civilian positions, stateside positions too, seem really important to prepare our students for.
Well, absolutely right. And the thing that I like to concentrate on when I go out, I talk about the hard skill requirement stuff, like, cybersecurity, information technology, things of that nature, the STEM majors. But I'm also interested in drawing interest in our soft skill requirements. And that's what those three-letter agencies are really looking for. People who have the background and the knowledge and the experience, the education to go into and serve in those organizations to help us stay safe from a national security standpoint.
Well, I understand one of our more traditional Houston area high schools, Madison High School, they have an event coming up as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Yes, sir. By towards the end of this month, on the 23rd, they're going to host a Armed Forces Day there, and I have volunteered HCC and my own skill set, let's put it that way, to put recruiters in the same room as they're going through their National Signing Day and their Armed Forces Signing Day ceremonies, so that parents and students and prospective students are now able to experience the opportunities that the different services are offering, as well as what HCC in certain centers of excellence, our content areas, offer in terms of programs for education and career advancement.
I mean, it seems to me just before summer break and especially Memorial Day weekend that our high schools in the area might be having programming of that nature, right? Sort of a Friday afternoon before the holiday and sort of drawing attention to military service.
Absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, I went out there to do what I just talked about before about the informing students of their opportunities. And a young lady, Martha Rodriguez, who's in charge of their IT program out there, got to talking with me and addressed that she wanted to do this and her principal was behind it. I said, okay, what do you need? She goes, whatever you can provide. So what I'm providing, I'm working on putting a Coast Guard helicopter on the football field. I'm working on putting a lot of military vehicles, Humvees, not any tanks, not any armored troop carriers, anything like that, but vehicles out there so that the students can go out there and see them, touch them, talk to the air crew, for example, talk to the crew members of those vehicles and that kind of thing, so they can get a better understanding of what the military has to offer along those lines.
Well, I got another couple of topics here. We might just have time for one of them, but we'll see. Can you tell me about the Navy STEM Education and Workforce Grant that we're connected to?
Sure. So I'm in the middle of writing that particular grant with the help of Tyron Vereen, who comes out of the grant writing office here at HCC. It's basically, the premise here is that let's start introducing STEM education at the earliest possible level for students. And these can be prospective students coming to HCC, but as they're going through the entire process from middle school to high school to college, where will they get this introduction? Cullen Military Academy, which is housed at Cullen Middle School, is the best place for this right now within our largest customer, Houston Independent School District. So I'm going to be introducing tutors, working with several different companies out there like W. Johnson Incorporated. They do ROVs, or remotely operated vehicles, and teaching students there that particular field and that career field, especially as they learn to get familiar with that system. Take a look at introducing Bridge Year as trying to define interest areas for those students as they're growing up, and then moving that group into the high school level, whether they go junior ROTC or not, and tracking them and continuing to provide tutoring services and still follow-up introductions to ROVs and drones so they can work on their FAA Part 107 private drone pilot licensing and other things like that. And if they go military, they go military. If they don't go military, they don't go military. But they will have a foundation of STEM education as they're going through.
Well, we've got just 1 minute left, and I wanted to maybe not save the best for last, but there's a scholarship opportunity our students need to know about, and it's related to health professions and military education programming. Can you tell us a little bit about that scholarship before we close?
Sure. Sorry about that. In terms of the Health Professions Scholarship Program, which is a all-service Army, Navy, Air Force medical education program, if a student applies for that and is accepted for that scholarship, it provides a $2,700 a month stipend to the student while they're going through school, and it allows them to complete their nursing program if they're into the nursing program all the way to their Bachelor of Science in Nursing, or if they want to go to the doctor route, surgeon, neurologist, orthopedic surgeon, things of that nature. That scholarship will cover them all the way through their first year of residency. And all the student really has to do is turn in a transcript at the end of every semester to make sure they're not, blowing it. And when they're done, for every year that they have been on that scholarship, they will be committed to a year of service in the Army, the Navy, or the Air Force.
No, that's wonderful. I appreciate you taking the time today to talk to us, because we just heard about programs from junior high to high school to college, including scholarships. And it's just a remarkable track of opportunities that our students in the Houston area can take advantage of. So again, thank you. This is Robert Glover, the Executive Director of HCC's Military Education Programs. We'll have more information about these events and posts after our show. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, after a commercial break, Amy will be back to talk to our Mental Health Monday guest.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally knew that I had somebody.
We're moving on to Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, the Executive Director of the Jung Center of Houston and our Mental Health Monday guest. Welcome back to the show, Sean.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are always happy to have you on the show. Today, we'll talk about empathy and ways we can build it. Just last week, neuroscientist David Engelman said, the arts can help us build empathy. How so?
The first thing I have to say is how much I love David Eagleman. David used to be here in town. He was at Baylor College of Medicine, and he's now out at Stanford, and has a show on PBS. He's likely our best public neuroscientist. And so I follow him on Substack, and he had a post this last week where he talked about this, that actually literary fiction helps us to develop empathy. And particularly he uses a bit of jargon called a theory of mind, which is our ability to understand that other people have different thoughts and emotions than we do. And we can begin to, extrapolate from that what they might be thinking and feeling that's different than who we are. And so he says that the arts generally, and particularly the studies he was citing in a journal called Science, was about literary fiction and how much it can improve our empathy.
Well, I'm also a big fan of David Engelman. So it's wonderful to hear that you follow him and we have this, this connection between psychology and literature and art. So talk to us more about why particularly literary fiction, and does reading nonfiction or more popular fiction have the same effect?
The short answer, at least from this study, is no. Literary fiction, and the reason is that literary fiction explores how particular characters think and feel, right? How their inner lives also are inextricably woven with their external circumstances, right? With their social and environmental contexts, and just how different individuals experience the world. But through literary fiction, we get to inhabit very different circumstances than our own. So, someone like former President Barack Obama has talked about how important fiction has been in this work of understanding the experiences of other people. And Eagleman in his post sort of extends it not just about literary fiction, but maybe more broadly the arts. And thinking with President Obama, he's also said how the TV show MASH was really essential for his moral development, and it has been for mine too. So I would say that the best really insightful and compassionate works of art help us to better understand how to relate to each other.
And how do we benefit from developing empathy? Why is empathy important for psychological well-being?
We could answer this question in so many ways. I think, for me, fundamentally, it's about how essential human connection is to our mental health. When others experience and express empathy about our lives, it can be profoundly reassuring and healing. And that's also a gift we can extend to others as well. Trust builds out of empathy. From a social perspective, we're living, in a time of really deep splits, politically, culturally, on so many dimensions. And empathy rehumanizes us. It's much harder for me to express hate for someone based on their identity if they've actually become personally known to me. So I have an opportunity, because I have a literature professor that I want to throw a question back to, which is, I'm curious about works that have expanded your experience of empathy, maybe things that just have been personally meaningful for you.
Well, I appreciate your question, because it's so rare that people ask questions like this, and I'm being 100% serious, right? It's really not often that somebody says, what are your favorite novels? So of course that's an impossible question to answer, but right?
Yeah.
But I will say that I did study Victorian fiction, and one of the reasons that I studied Victorian fiction was it was this real this beautiful moment for women writers in particular. And many of the women writers were using their voice as a political tool, and what they were doing was trying to create empathy. So I picked Elizabeth Gaskell's industrial novels, Mary Barton and North and South. She wrote these in the 1850s in Manchester, with the express purpose of highlighting the plight of the industrial workers in the factories. And she deliberately created working class characters and portrayed them in a way to link them to middle class values and family, middle class values about family and integrity. And as we discussed, I'm sorry, we had this, I think we had a off camera discussion about the novel as a genre. And the novel, when it comes to be as a genre, it's intended to evoke feelings of both sympathy and empathy in the reader. And that's why it has this focus on realism, those individual perspectives that you were talking about, and an in-depth character development. So you really get into the heart of the character, and it's designed to impact the reader.
Yeah.
And I want to mention Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, because of course that was a critical moment where she's actively trying to persuade America to abolish slavery.
Yeah.
And she uses the character of Uncle Tom and the way she portrays her cabin to say, oh, we're just like you. He's just like us. He's a person too. I know this is going long. I'm going to throw out, just because I always find it amusing, novels of sensibility like Clarissa. This was written by Samuel Richardson. They had a political and cultural impact. Thousands of readers followed Clarissa's story in a serialized publication. And when she died, they were furious. They wrote him letters. Oh, no, you have to rewrite this ending. She didn't really die. And they mourned her like she was a real person.
Yeah.
And the other example of that is Susanna Rosen she wrote a book called Charlotte Temple. It's very similar to Clarissa, similar story. And merchants actually capitalized on this. They sold teaspoons, commemorative items.
Yeah.
There was even a purported gravesite, which is not hers because she's a fictional character.
Fictional character, yeah.
Right? But people made pilgrimages to visit it.
Yeah. This is like the power of the imagination. And I would say from a psychological perspective, like these people were real. They may not have been materially real, but these characters really achieve a kind of life within us and obviously really clear social impact, right?
Absolutely. And, as you said, it's all connected, right? It's art, it's psychological, and it's powerful. And so I think, we may not extend it entirely to pop fiction, but you mentioned MASH, and I think that's why stories, narratives are so important in our life and our culture.
Yeah, I 100%, and psychologically necessary.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, we could talk about this for another 3 hours, so we're going to have to do something about that.
Indeed.
But before I let you go, we'd love for you to share your upcoming events at the Jung Center.
Yeah, you bet. So a couple of things happening this week. We have a wonderful therapist named Liz Seitz is teaching an evening presentation called How Our Childhood Experiences Impact Adult Relationships. That's going to be this Wednesday on May 7th. On Saturday, May 10th, Jasmine Shaw, who is our director of our Mind Body Spirit Institute, and her friend Melanie Lawn are going to teach a class on rest and why reclaiming rest in our hyperproductive age is so essential. So as ever, if you want to learn more about the Jung Center, get on our mailing list, emailing list. You can go to junghouston.org, and we'd love to have people, welcome people here. Yeah.
Yes, go get on that mailing list. And Sean, thank you so much for pulling me into the conversation. That was a beautiful question, and I appreciate it.
I'm so glad. This is such a pleasure for me. So,
well, we always appreciate having you here. Thank you again, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Executive Director of the Jung Center of Houston, and our Mental Health Monday guest. We're going to have all the information in our post after the show. Coming up after a quick commercial break, Nick and I will return with some news and announcements.
I'm not just studying AI, I'm designing solutions to make the world a better place for us all.
I didn't just study buildings, I connected them with tech to make them smarter.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
And we're back with news and announcements. First off, it is Cinco de Mayo, and at Southeast, the Office of Student Life will present nachos and karaoke to celebrate this special day. It will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's today, Monday, Cinco de Mayo, at Eastside Student Life Lobby. Check the post after the show for more information. And we're also going to be continuing our art and design presentations and studios.
That's right. There will be a design portfolio show called The Big Reveal, and it's 1 week away, and it'll be HCC's Interior Design Portfolio Show with our graduating students showcasing innovative residential and commercial design solutions, detailed technical drawings, and immersive 3D visualizations. This is going to be this Thursday, noon, May 8th, at the West Houston Institute. It's free. Check our post after the show for more information. And I'll just say I saw this last year in the lobby at the WHI when I was in that building, and it was remarkably cool to walk around and see all of these posters and models of architecture and interior design. It was great.
It's really incredible the work that our students do, and I'm so glad that they have an opportunity to showcase. And if you can't get there in person, there will be a virtual art reception and awards. A virtual reception of online studio student art features student work from all campuses, and awards will be given in design, art, drawing, graphic design, and digital media. That is going to be a virtual presentation from noon to 1 p.m. on Thursday, May 8th. Check the post after the show. It's free, and you can find out how to join. And then there's going to be a showcase too.
That's right. The Media Arts Showcase is for students, and it's going to be an end of semester compilation of public screening of student projects from the media arts programs, including filmmaking, audio recording technology, and music business. The tentative program also will include TV, field and production, lighting, cinematography, and directing projects from our students. This will be at the Spring Branch Performing Arts Center on Saturday, May 10th from 4 to 9 p.m. Check our post after the show for more information.
And we're getting ready for summer. We want everybody to be safe. And so HCC's Talent Learning and Development site, Percipio, says whether you're planning a backyard barbecue or a road trip, these skill-soft courses can help make the most of summer. Food and fun, safety on the water, and summer vehicle safety. Check the post after the show for more information, and don't forget to register.
Speaking of registration, summer enrollment and fall enrollment are both open. Make the most of this summer, though, by locking in the classes you need to stay on track. HCC will offer classes in a variety of programs, session lengths, and a range of modalities, including online anytime asynchronous classes, online on a schedule classes that meet virtually, traditional classes that meet in person, as well as hybrid options for both classes and labs that meet face-to-face and in person and online. So to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and to look at options to cover your costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
So much is going on, and I don't know about you, but when I got here, Nick, it was quiet. Students are taking finals, so I'm just trying to be respectful of the serious, quiet
Well, you know
campus.
that Cinco de Mayo event you just mentioned is here at my campus today, so I might have to go out there and make some noise. We'll see.
Yes, go check it out. Do some karaoke. Somebody get a video for me. Well, thanks for being here. Coming up on Tuesday, we'll welcome the folks from the Resiliency Center at Northeast College. And later this week, as we continue AAPI month, we'll spotlight HCC's Korean program. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.